Mic check. This is Ty, and I'm with Uncle Neely in the pregame show.
J Mac from Syracuse, New York, man, came all the way out to see my Colorado Buffs.
What channel do you watch? They brought you out here.
The pregame show.
Never watched the college game till last season when Coach Prime came to Colorado. And I am in Colorado at Folsom Field. I am the Colorado Buffaloes auntie from Texas. Sweet treat.
Hey, I've been following the pregame show. It's all about let's go Buffs.
Away from Texas, yes sir. Watch you every single day. Nobody lays it down like Uncle Neely and the pregame show.
Neely, pregame show behind the scenes of everything. And why does he get that kind of access? Why does he get that kind of access? Because trust is involved. You would never get the kind of access you desire unless there's trust and relationship. You're trying to put your own game.
I'm often asked what my role is here at CU with Coach Prime, and I'm kind of all over the place here. I help in operations, I help with his events, I help the guys on the team. I like to tell them that a lot of times when they come on visits, we see them in the hall, they have this happy smile with their mother and with their father, and then when they get here, y'all, they try to switch up. But I'm a mother too, so I'm here to kind of make sure, keep them in the road if there are things they need to talk about, they don't want to talk about to the coaches, or they need advice, on the young ladies or things of that nature, their grades. I tend to have an open door policy, and I, just want to make sure that they feel like they're at home, like they're with their mom, like they have someone that they can confide in if they need to. Well, my name is Ty. My name is Taisha. But you know what? Everybody can pronounce Taisha. So I shortened it to Ty. And, the guys kind of started calling me Mama T. And that name has kind of carried with me. And now I have adults that are walking around saying, "Hey, Mama T." And I'm like, "No, you can't call me Mama T. Just the young men on our team can call me Mama T." But you know what? Mama T is a name of endearment. I love it. I absolutely love to hear the guys call me Mama T. It lets me know, to be able to call someone a mom, that means you trust them, that means you love them, that means you respect them. And, I hold that title dear to my heart. So it's so very important, ever since my children were very young, I've taught them, how to be respectful, especially to women. Not just to women, but men, you all deserve respect as well. And so I've always been big on that, just making sure, that I raised mine how mine raised me. We've kind of gotten away from that a little bit, but it's so important here, as we get new guys in, and even our guys that have been here, I'll get on the elevator with them and I'll wait to see, okay, are they going to let me out first? Are they going to open the door for me? And when they don't, I correct them. I let them know, women are first. Make sure that you're respecting women, but also making sure that you're getting respect. And a lot of times now they'll see me and they say, "Here come Mama T, hold the door for Mama T." And so, I try to translate that on to other women in our building, to the young ladies that's working with our staff, to the ladies that's attending school here. There's a certain level of respect that they give when I'm in their presence, and I want to make sure that they're giving that respect when I'm not in their presence. Because y'all know they'll act one way in front of the mama, and then when the mama is gone, they act a different way. But I'm just so honored to be able to say we have a well diverse group of guys who are very, very respectful. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but I've seen the highs and I've seen the lows, and I can pretty much tell you the group of guys that we have here, they're so respectful, they're so mannerable. Every now and again we may get one or two who, just try to push the envelope a little bit, and at their age they should try to push it. And that's why you need women in sports, because we're able to offer something that the men just can't offer. There are things that men offer that the guys definitely need, but they also need to know that they have someone there who, you know, can listen to them and can help give them perspective from a feminine a female's point of view. Yes, I'm a minority amongst minorities, to say the least. A lot of people didn't come from the background that I did. I lost my mother when I was very young. My father passed away. I didn't really have, the upbringing of knowing which direction to go. There's no handbook to this, and for people to give you an opportunity that you probably never would have been able to get, it really means a lot to me. Coach Prime is big on family values. He's big on making sure that everyone's feel included, no matter the race, no matter the gender, it does not matter to him. But for him to reach back and bring me here with him from Mississippi, and just to know that he trusts me with certain details, intimate details, detailing of, designing his own home, designing the school here, different aspects. I hold those things near and dear to my heart because I know how important it is just to have people around you that you can really trust. So, just watching him cultivate, that around here and bring in, different women, and it really means a lot to me. And it just goes to show, everyone plays their part. When everyone plays their part, we all mean something to this program. And I'm gonna tell you, Coach Prime has absolutely no problem saying, "Hey, go get Ty. Ty did this." He have these celebrities around here, and different people, and he's always quick to say when they say, "Oh, this look good in here," he'll say, "Go get Ty. I want you to meet Ty. Ty is who did this." He always puts us out front. We see a lot of his personality, and the cameras are on him. But when the time is right, he always makes certain that he knows, the people that he brought here and the people that he trusts. And so I'm so grateful for that. I never can, I'll never be able to repay Coach Prime for what he's done for me emotionally, spiritually, financially. I would never be able to repay him. But, I try to make sure that he knows that I'm appreciative by my work ethic, by my loyalty, by my love for the guys that he bring in. That's how I try to show him my appreciation.
I think people don't appreciate enough how folks perform better when they're comfortable or happy.
Yes.
And part of that is just the environment.
Yes.
And so, what you have done to the office, what you've done to what was a conference room next to his office,
Mhm.
locker room downstairs.
Mhm.
Talk to us about how this recruiting lounge that we're sitting in.
Mhm.
Talk to us about how your design taste, how that helps him function and be the best coach he can be.
So, Coach Prime tends to be, and let me give you all a little backstory. I own Premier Events for over 20 years. I'm an event designer. I traveled the world and done some of the biggest events. Some that you may not even be aware that I've done. I've done some really large weddings. I've done some corporate events. That's my background, design. I was always the one that people in my family would come to say, how does this look, Ty? Or what should I do? Or what should I change here? I was always that person. And so, coming in here to Colorado and helping Coach Prime with his vision, honestly, y'all, it was really easy for me because Coach Prime, as you know, he's a very flamboyant person. On camera and off camera, he's a very, his style of dressing is out of this world. The way that he does everything, he's a top tier person. And so his design style was very easy for me because he's an out of the box person. He allows me to come in. He'll say, "Hey, Ty, this is what I'm looking for. This is the feel that I want." For instance, in the recruiting lounge, he told me, he said, "I want it to feel like a laid back, upscale lounge," is what he told me. He wants them to come in and feel like, this is a place to relax, but it also has a very cool atmosphere. And so that's what I did. I came in and I pretty much vamped everything here. Everything you see here, I did. Even in his locker room, even in his office, even at his home when he has me to come in and do things. I think we've gotten now to where he kind of trusts, that I'm going to bring his vision to life, that I understand his style. And this is so easy for me, y'all. I tell people all the time, I really can do it in my sleep. Sometimes, you get clients and you're like, "Oh, I don't know which direction to go." But with Coach Prime, I pretty much know which direction he wants to go because nothing really changes with him. Everything pretty much stays the same. The standard is the standard, his style is his style, and he does not really deviate from that. Well, Neely, I've always had the vision of being able to see things a little further. I can walk in a space and I can say, oh, I can do this or I can do that. A lot of people don't have that vision. I found that, I have to draw up sketches to be able to show my clients the vision of what's in my head or what I see. So I've always had that talent. Um, of course, like you said, I do advance, before the team. I'm the first one to arrive, you know, when we're out of town, when we're traveling for away games. I'm the first one to get there. I'm the first one to get to the hotels. When you all arrive, as you know, I'm at the airport waiting on
Hmm.
you with the buses and the police escorts
The
and
room
room
keys.
keys, all of that. And so everything that I'm doing now actually is what I've already was doing in my past life. It's just now it's on a different scale. It's on a corporate scale. And so I'm just very honored, first of all, because I don't know if y'all know, but those are big shoes to carry, big shoes to fill when you're the first person to get there before the team gets there, and you have to make sure that everything is right. I have to make sure the buses are there. I have to make certain that the hotel is set, that the keys are ready, that the food is set up, the meeting rooms are set up. It's really a lot. And people tell me all the time, they're like, I don't see how you walking around here smiling. You've done all of this, or you have this to do. But it's just second nature to me. And I tell people, well, that's why Coach Prime has me here. That's why he has me doing what he has me doing, because he trusts me and he know, if I that I can get things done. There are times when things go wrong before y'all land and things happen, and I have to make sure that it's taken care of. I can't be calling and saying, oh, Reg, what do I need to do? Or, oh, Coach Prime, what do I need to do? This person didn't show up. Or this police escort in there. Or these hotel rooms aren't ready. Or these rental cars aren't ready. I have to get on the ground and I have to do what I know I'm here to do, and that's to get it done.
And so I've seen you like solve problems.
Yes.
But some of the problems you solve, to my untrained eye, wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
Like the hotel in Oregon, they had
Mhm.
put these signs out on the meeting rooms.
Mhm.
Didn't look wrong to me.
Yeah.
And when you said, no, 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 we can't do it this way, that don't match Coach Prime
Yes.
style.
Yes.
And you came back with some paper and ink and black and gold lettering,
Yes.
and it just took the
To another
presence to it.
level.
Yeah, and it, and
It's
it,
the
and
small
it,
details,
but
Neely.
it made the meeting even better.
Yeah, it's the small details. And I have to give kudos to our director of football operations, Mr. Reginald Calhoun. He's the force behind us here. He is the one that keeps me going. He's the one that keeps me motivated. He's the one that said, now, Ty, now you know that you can do better than this. Or, Ty, this is our standard and we need to stick to it. Not only am I answering to Coach Prime, I'm also answering to our director of football ops. And there's a standard.
Hmm.
There are many people that Reg could have brought in or Coach Prime could have brought in to fill this role. And I know they brought me in because they've seen my work. In Jackson, I was doing Coach Prime's fundraisers.
Hmm.
I designed his office there. Many of his birthday events I was doing there. And there's no way that I could come here and fall less of a standard than we were when we were there. As you grow, you elevate. And so I just want to make sure that everything I do here is an elevated experience, whether it's, from planning our Thanksgiving dinners here,
Hmm.
whether it's the Alamo Bowl, whether it's Coach Prime's office, whether it's his new locker room, whether it's his birthday party with Lil Wayne and, all of these celebrities. It doesn't matter to me. Our standard is our standard. And I pride myself on making certain that I stick to that
You
standard.
and I both are from Mississippi. One of
Yes.
the things I've noticed in the 2 years we've been here now,
Mhm.
Coach Prime has played professional sports in Atlanta, New
Yes.
York, Cincinnati,
Yes.
Washington, D.C., Dallas. List goes
Mhm.
on and on.
It does.
But when you look at who makes up this building,
Mhm.
it's Florida, Texas, Mississippi.
It is.
And then Mississippi is like that last part of his life when he was at Jackson
Mhm.
State, or the most recent part of his life.
Mhm.
What
Mhm.
does it say to you as a Mississippian that, man, he made a stop there at Jackson State and saw people there
Mhm.
and brought them with him to this next stop? And he could have brought people from the New
He
York
could have brought
Yankees.
people from anywhere. He
Yeah.
could have went to LA. He could have went to New York. He could have went to London. He could have went anywhere. But he came to the southern states and there's so much talent in Mississippi. There are so many talented people and so many amazing people that are just looked over simply because they're from Mississippi. I like to tell this story. One time I was meeting with a client actually in New York. And I met with the client. I told them my design scope. They told me what they were looking for. And they said, Ty, where are you from? And I said, oh, I'm from Mississippi. And their whole demeanor changed. They
Mm.
said, you're from Mississippi? And so I've always kind of carried that with me. I've never shunned away from the fact that I'm from Mississippi. Everywhere I go, I always tell people I'm from Mississippi. They always ask about this accent, which is not really an accent to me,
Yeah.
but they always say, what's that accent? And I'll say, oh, I'm from Mississippi. So, just for Coach Prime to come to Mississippi and handpick all of these people that he brought here with him, to let the world see they don't have to be from a certain place or a certain caliber or, walked a certain walk in life. A lot of us, including me, we've been through so many things in our past, where people would maybe look at us and say, oh, I don't know about them, or oh, I don't know about her. And Coach Prime is like, well, I know about him.
Yeah.
He gives people's, opportunities time and time. I see it so many times, y'all, not just with us as a staff, but with the players. He tends to have a heart, and I do too. I reach for the black sheep. I reach for those who people say, oh, they'll never be nothing. Even with my employees, when I had my employees, I always wanted to make sure that I was judging people off of the character of where they are today. Because, yeah, things that I did when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, definitely not things that I would do now. But, I don't run away from those things because those things are what helped me to be able to help other people, to be able to help the young men in these programs, to be able to help some of the younger women that are here, to guide them along. So I'm just so thankful for Coach Prime, reaching down in Mississippi and just trying to help some of the people there. And, I see a lot of times he'll say, oh, I'm not going to do this, or I'm through with this person. I ain't dealing with them no more. And then you look up and he done reach back and grab them up and giving them another chance again. And he just has a heart of a servant. He has a heart of love, and a lot of times, Neely, you and I see things. I know I was in his office with you yesterday when you gifted him, his gift, and you were kind of getting a little teary, and I was listening to you talk about y'all's relationship and how he's changed your life. And, I know we have the documentary and, they see some behind the scenes with you and Bucky and Darius, but there's so many things that go on, y'all, behind closed doors.
Hmm.
So many, things he do to help people. So many times he forgive people. So many chances he give these players. He give our staff that people really just don't know. And I really, really wish that people could, get to see a lot of that. But, like with most philanthropists and people that do things of that nature, they don't want it to be seen.
Hmm.
A lot of times I say, Coach Prime, I really appreciate you. Oh, Ty, you ain't got to tell me you appreciate. He don't even want to hear it.
No,
But
it
I
doesn't.
think it's so important, that he knows how important he is and how much we value him and how much we appreciate him.
One of the challenges I've had is that I get mad about stuff he don't get mad about.
Yeah, me too.
Because when people do him
Me
wrong
too.
and the way he walks in his faith,
Yeah,
frankly, I'm not there yet.
yeah,
And so I get mad for him.
yeah,
And he's like, man, need to let that go, man. I ain't thinking about that. And
yeah,
I'm like, I'm thinking about it because I know how sincere you were in the
yeah.
effort and intent. And then for them to come and do that to
Oh,
you,
absolutely.
like,
Listen, we
I'm
just
mad.
had a conversation yesterday. He came in my office and closed the door and we kind of talked, and I said, how do you feel about, certain things? I said, does it not bother you emotionally? Does it not bother you? It makes you kind of feel like you don't know who to trust or who you should trust. And he said, Ty, I'm built for this. He said, I don't want you all responding to certain things. He said, let me handle it. I got
Hmm.
it. But at the end of the day, Neely, like you said, he's still a human. He's still a man with a heart. He's still a man with children. He's still, a grandfather now. And, a lot of times people just talk to him and they treat him like he's just a piece of paint on the wall. Like he doesn't have feelings. Like he doesn't. I see some of this stuff online and I read some of this stuff, which I try to get away
Yeah.
from, but Sometimes it gets a little hard. They'll even come on my page and they just say the most ridiculous stuff, and it's hard to be able to, just keep quiet when you know who he is as a person and you've seen the things that he's done. Now, I'm not saying Coach Prime is perfect because he's not perfect from a long standard, just like none of us are.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is that I've seen him give opportunity after opportunity. I've seen him, do things for people. And I'm just like, wow, coach, I don't know how you've been able to do that or how you're continuing to, ignore, everything that's around you. But I'm just so blessed to be in his presence. I'm so thankful for God in my business. I always thought that I was here. Oh, Ty, you've done this. You've worked for this person. You've been around this celebrity. I've done so many things, Neely, but out of all the things that I've done, this is the most fulfilling thing that I have ever, ever been a part of. And, as we get new guys in now and the old guys are leaving, it's been so emotional for me. I've built so many bonds with the guys, and watching the new guys come in, it's like we're on a mission here. I know a lot of y'all see football, y'all, but this is spiritual. We're changing these guys' lives and they're changing my life. They've made me such a better person. They've made me a better woman. They made me a better mom. They've made me just a overall better human. And, I'm just so grateful. And those are things that you just cannot repay. And you know what? My first PJ was with Coach Fine.
Mm-hmm. Mine too.
My first PJ was with Coach Fine. He called me in his office and he was like, Ty, I want to talk to you. And when he called you in his office, you kind of like, okay, what has happened? But he was about to go on a book tour, and he said, I want you to go with me. I want you to be able to see the different levels of what I do, and I want you, to expound on what you're doing. I want you to see the potential, y'all. And everywhere we went, he was introducing me to people, and he was making sure that he made connections with me with those people, and he was letting them know this is what Ty does for me. And so I don't know. I just feel so blessed because, you can get people that's at a certain level like Coach Prime and, they want to take credit for everything and, they want the spotlight to be all about them. And he's totally the opposite, y'all. He want to make sure that he puts us out front as much as he possibly can. And I'm just so, my life has been changed by Coach Prime, and I'm just so grateful for him. And I'll forever sing him praises. I don't really care what the masses say or what the public try to say, or that none of those things matter to me. When you really get to know a person and you worked with a person, and it just changes you when you see who they really are at the core.
And you try to say I work for Coach
Yes.
Brian, and he'll interrupt you and say, no, he works with me.
Absolutely. He's gonna tell you every time, you don't work for me.
Yeah.
You don't work for me, Ty. You work with me, Ty. You know. And even as I'm sitting here thinking, all of these memories are just flooding my mind, just to think that I was just in New York at the Heisman party with Travis, and then Travis came up to me later saying thank you for the things that I've helped him with, and I'm currently planning Travis's wedding, and just thinking about all the doors that he's opened for me. I'm just so grateful. I'm just so very thankful because, as you said earlier, Neely, you know, we get so many resumes and people calling and, emails, people saying, Ty, I want to try to get my foot. There are so many people Coach Brown could have brought in here. There are tons of camera crew people that he could have in his everyday life, Neely, but he chose me and he chose you from Mississippi. He picked us up and he brought us with him. And what we do with it from that point is on us. But as I said earlier, the only way I know how to pay Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is by being the stand-up person, holding my integrity, and doing my job as he brought me here to do. So when I first met Travis, of course, I met him in Jackson. Travis is one of those people, if he don't really know you, he's gonna be respectful, but he's gonna stay in his own world. Travis is I hear a lot of people say unicorn, y'all, but coming from where I come from and seeing some of the things that young men at his age have been through, and things that decisions that they've made. I made a post a couple of weeks ago and I said I would love to see what some of y'all were doing at 21, 22, and 23. Some of the decisions that y'all were making. And to see where he is, to see the decisions he's making, to see the relationships he's built, every time I look at Travis, I'm just blown away because he is the example of what we would want all of our young black men to be. He's an exceptional athlete, but off the field, y'all, he is an amazing human being. There are so many things that Travis is doing. He never speak on it. There are so many people that he's helping. He never speaks on it. And his heart is just pure. He has one of the most kindest, humblest personalities and spirits that I've ever seen. Um, Travis and I relationship kind of got closer here at Colorado. He began to, ask me to do things for him as he saw me doing it for Coach Prime. He started to trust me a little more. I planned several surprises for him for his fiance. I've helped her with things with him. We have upcoming events that we're planning. We have the draft coming up. We have his big wedding coming up. Coach Prime is planning a big draft party. I'm sure Travis is planning something wherever he's going to be, so my hands will be in that. And, it means a lot to me just to have people that trust me. You know, you can have people around you who are just around for what, you need them to do. But there's a difference when a person has you around and they can confide in you with certain things or have you planning intimate details. That means a lot to me. That means they trust me, and I'm just so happy for that. And that's something again that I can never, repay Coach Prime for. Because without Coach Prime, I wouldn't have a relationship with Travis. I wouldn't have a relationship with Travis's fiance. I see all this stuff on the internet about them, and I just like to say, I would like to see the decisions y'all were making at that age, because I would love to cover up my decisions. By the time I was 21, 22, y'all, I had been married, divorced, had 3 kids, and was trying to figure out what check could I bounce to get some pampers for the next child. So, I just ask that we give everybody grace. We all need a little more grace. And that's something that I had to learn myself. A lot of times I see online we're doing this thing. We tell and we don't judge. I don't know if you see it,
I see
Anita. They
it.
got this thing going around. We talk and we don't judge. So I'm really big on that. I want people to feel comfortable to be able to talk to me. I have relationships with everybody here, with the staff, male, female. They come to me. Some things I want to hear, some things I don't want to hear. But they feel that they can confide in me. They talk to me about personal issues, about professional issues, and just having another notch on my belt with Travis Hunter is more of having another praise in heaven from God. Because, I promise God, I'll take care of what I'm doing here if you take care of what I have back at home. And it seems to be working out really well. So I'm so excited. If y'all haven't caught the new season of the documentary, I'm on there with Travis and his fiance. We're planning the wedding, which is coming up very soon. Travis is kind of like, whatever she want, I want. But then he'll come in and he'll say, no, I want this, and whatever he
When that
wants,
when that joker said he wanted a bounce
he
house,
want a bounce house, y'all. Y'all won't believe like the little stuff that he want, but he's such a kid at heart. It just goes to show, and even in the planning of this, it showed me how much of a great person he was, how much his fiance, they're such great people, y'all. I've been at their house with them. I've traveled with them. I have a trip coming up with his fiance. We're going to do our final walkthrough of the venue, and they're just really, really good people. They really are.
all right. So Ty, you and I have lived long enough. We ain't old,
No.
but we live long enough that everything comes to an end and people
Yeah.
move on and transitions happen,
Yeah.
and they always happen in sports.
Yeah.
Sometimes sooner than you
Oh my
expect.
goodness. Don't even talk about that, Neely, because my heart has just been in pieces like the last couple of weeks. Seeing all the changes that we've had, and you build relationships with people, and then you wake up the next morning, they're calling saying, Ty, hey, this is my last day, or I'm moving on. And you want to be happy for them, but at the same time, the heartstrings are kind of there. And so it's really an emotional career. It's an emotional space to be in because the players move on, they graduate, they transfer, they get in the portal. And then you have coaches and staff who move on, they elevate, or whatever may happen, and they're gone. It's like, oh, my little heart, I just can't take this anymore. So yeah, it can be a lot. It really can.
But what about your future? What's the future for Ty Hold?
Oh my goodness, my future. One of my goals, even before I met Coach Prime, one of my top goals was to one day plan the Super Bowl. I remember it probably was 10 or 15. First of all, I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan, for y'all that don't know. I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboy.
Cowboys
But
come to Denver next year, by the way.
Cowboys come to Denver next year. So, Neely, it was maybe 15 years ago, I would say, maybe a little less. I remember making a post on Facebook and I said, one day I'm going to be the top planner for the Super Bowl. And everybody was like, what do you mean you're going to be the top planner? And I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I promise you one day I am going to be the planner for the Super Bowl. That is my ultimate dream. That is my ultimate goal. I would love to be, one of the planners for the Super Bowl. Little did I know I would end up in football sports. A lot of times we see things that happen in our life and we're like, oh man, why did that happen? Why did that door close? And we just don't know. God is something else. He lines things up perfectly, and when people are going through hardships, I always tell them, don't be so down about it because you never know how God is orchestrating things. You never know who he's bringing you closer to for a reason. You never know who he's removing for a reason. And so my ultimate goal is to be a planner of the Super Bowl, and I'm going to do it. I also remember that I made a post and I said, one day I'm going to be on the Oprah show. And if you all have never seen my segment on the Oprah Winfrey show, please go see it. I actually was on the Oprah show. And so I have found, not just from being around Coach Prime, your words matter, your thoughts matter, what you go through in life matters. I always stay positive, never get too down on yourself. And, I like to tell people, I don't go too deep into, the things that I've been through. If you ask, I'm going to talk about it because I want to make sure that my testimony is setting the next person up to be able to excel. But I always want people to know that no matter what you've been through or what you've gone through or what you've seen, that God has a plan for us all. And as long as you keep your mind on pace and you keep your heart and your intentions and your integrity, yeah, I remember in my business like failing and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? It's hard as an entrepreneur. Shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there. But right now I'm able to rest in the fact and knowing, I don't have to get up in the morning and wonder if I'm going to have 10 clients next month or if I'm going to have one client or if I can pay my bills this month or next month I'm making hundreds of thousands of dollars and this month I'm making, $100. And so just being in this space has allowed me to be able to thrive in who God created me to be without the worry of the financial word, the emotional word, the spiritual word. I feel like that I'm protected in all aspects. And y'all, I don't know if y'all see it, but I'm glowing. I'm glowing. Neely, can you see I'm glowing?
I see the glow. They see
Yeah.
it too.
And y'all gonna see me glowing when I'm planning the Super Bowl. Just stay tuned.
All right, one thing we got to talk about, Typho, we got to address this
Sure.
because every time you on the pregame network, the pregame show, whichever one, the DMs go get to popping.
They do.
Folks want to know about Big Ty, not the little one, but Big Ty's dating life, whether it's Colorado, Mississippi, or worldwide.
Oh wow.
They want to know.
This again, huh?
Yep.
So I'm single. And dating. I've been on a few dates since I've been here in Colorado. I actually, Uncle Neely, I signed up for online dating, and then the coaches started getting on to me, and I shut my online dating profile. And what many people don't know, y'all, I have been celibate now for 4 years. This is my fourth year. And, I like to tell my young women out there, you're worth waiting for. I didn't wait. I had my first child at 16, and a lot of people say, "Wow, how can you be celibate at this big age?" And I just needed time, y'all. I had been, you know, doing grown adult things since I was 16 years old, and I went through a marriage, then divorced, and jumped into another long-term relationship, and I just needed time to see who Ty was without a man, to see who Ty was without sexual intimacy, to really get to know who I am and what I like, what I don't like, what I love, what I don't love. And this time of just getting to know myself, it has been so refreshing. And I don't know, Neely, I might be ready now. I think I might be ready now. Some of the people in the DMs, y'all go a little bit too far, but there are some great gentlemen in my DMs, and I've met some really amazing men. And I'm not one of those bitter women who say all men are terrible, because that is absolutely not true. I know some really amazing men. I know men of character, men of integrity, and hopefully one day I'll be the wife to one of those amazing men, because I am a wife.
So where y'all from?
We up from Miami, Florida.
All the way from Miami.
All the way from Miami.
Appreciate y'all coming, man.
Hey, man, we love what you guys are doing, man. We want to support you in every way.
Appreciate your family.
And we're recruiting at home. Everything we see at home, we bring it this way.
My man.
Thank
You gotta believe. Dude, we've been believing since day one,
That's
dog.
why I gave them to
Remember
you.
back in Jackson State? We've been believing with you in the pregame show.